Hey, it's Henry from exceptionalmarketer.com. And today I want to talk to you about what rich people do and poor people don't. If you'd like to be rich, if that's your goal in life, is to make enough money to have financial freedom and all sorts of other freedoms, then you got to learn to know what the rich people do, and you got to do the same things as well. So let's take a look and see. Here are 9 things that rich people do and poor people don't do. So, number 1, rich people surround themselves with success. They are very success oriented and they're constantly looking to better themselves. They read books and they listen to lectures about success and about successful people. They get ideas. These books are full of ideas. You found out how somebody else succeeded in business. You learned some different tricks and strategies you may have never known. They're always seeking out and they associate with successful people. I heard a saying at one point that says that your income will be the average of the 5 people you most hang out with. So if you're hanging out with a bunch of guys who like to hang out at the bar and spend all their paychecks and have a good time, then that's the kind of income you may be looking to have for yourself. But on the other hand, if you hang out with successful people, people who are making money and people who are moving forward in life and meeting their goals, you've got a much better chance of success. And they're always learning. They never assume that they know everything already, that they are know-it-alls. They're always learning, always trying to get better ideas. As a matter of fact, do you know that the top CEOs in the United States read an average of 50 books on success every single year? So if these top CEOs who are running mega companies do it, obviously there's some value in it and you should be thinking about doing it yourself as well. Rich people are willing to sacrifice the present for the future. They're always building toward the future. They will accept delayed gratification. Now, poor people seem to want instant gratification. You get a paycheck, you want to spend it right now and get the newest gadget, you need it right now. The rich people understand that you build for the future. You can build assets, you can build yourself, and it's all for future payoff, and they're willing to wait for that payoff because they know that payoff is going to be that much greater. They sow today to reap bigger rewards tomorrow. They don't take their paychecks and blow them. They take their paychecks and invest them. They invest in their careers and they invest in their education. They make themselves better every which way so they can advance faster and further. Poor people, on the other hand, don't seem to want to do that. They're more interested in the latest toys, in the instant gratification, in the big screen TV today, and they're willing to spend their money, and that's why they're always broke. Rich people set definitive financial goals. They set earnings and they set net worth goals. Now, these are both important. Earnings, obviously, are the money you make today. The more you make today, the more you have to do with as you please. And for rich people, that means investing their money, putting it to good use for the future. And they also have net worth goals. For example, they may say, I'd like to have, and they also set time limits. And they would say, I want to retire by the age of 50. I want to have a beautiful house with no mortgage. I want to have cars with no monthly payments on them. And I want to have X number of dollars in net worth, which I can then take and invest and have it work for me instead of me working for it. They set a goal and they work backwards to achieve it. I would like to retire and have $10 million in the bank. I've got 30 years to do that. That means every year I got to make X number of dollars and put them away. I break that down into a monthly number, I even break it down into a daily number, and I figure out how to achieve that. That gets me to my goal. Rich people take responsibility for results, both good or bad. They know that they take risks, and they know that sometimes those things don't turn out so well. But they're willing to take the responsibility for it. If something works out well, then they're going to take responsibility for that because they've created it. Do you know that over 85% of millionaires and billionaires are self-made? They didn't inherit the money. They went out and they earned it. They worked very hard, some of them very long hours, very bright people, and they made that income themselves. And they learned from their mistakes. This is just as important. There was a book written entitled Failing Forward. It's all about learning from your mistakes. It said Thomas Edison made thousands of mistakes. And when he made a mistake, he said, that's not such a bad thing. I've now learned how not to accomplish my goal. So they don't see their mistakes as mistakes. They see them as learning opportunities. Poor people, on the other hand, they buy lottery tickets and they hope they get lucky. They hope they can get lucky and that they can make some money. And, they just lose focus. They have no focus. Rich people constantly have a focus on the end result. Rich people know how to use credit to their advantage. Now, credit is a two-edged sword. Credit could be a very, very good thing, and credit could be an equally bad thing, depending on how you use it. Rich people use the credit because they invest in things that have a long-term payoff. They take their money today and they invest it, and they know that whatever interest they're going to pay today on these loans or pay over time on the loans will be more than made up for by the profits that they hope to reap from the endeavor that they're engaged in. So they're willing to invest money in their education, and they're also willing to invest money in business assets. I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you want to buy an investment real estate, a piece of property that you want to rent out. Well, you're going to have a mortgage on that property normally, so you're going to buy it, you're going to collect rent. Hopefully you'll have enough money in your monthly rental to pay for maintenance and to pay the mortgage. Well, over time, that mortgage is going to go down to nothing. So that monthly mortgage payment will now go right into your pocket. In addition, that real estate over time should go up in value. So now you've got an appreciated asset worth a lot more than you paid for it, and it's paying you every month. You're not paying for it anymore. Poor people, on the other hand, they use credit to buy the latest iPhone. They want to buy the latest computer. They want to buy the latest big screen TV, even though they already own these things. But they want the next biggest thing, and they're willing to use a credit card and pay 22% interest in order to have those things. That's the bad use of credit. So if you want to develop wealthy habits, be very careful with what you use your credit for. Rich people, they buy toys too, but they don't buy them on credit. Rich people have enough money put away. They know if they're going to want to buy something, they put the money away and they pay cash for those things. They don't use credit and pay interest to pay more and more and more than the original cost of the toy that they bought. Rich people are willing to take risks. A rich person is always willing to take risks if he can see a bigger payoff. So they will measure the long-term benefit against the risk, and then they use their wealth carefully and take calculated risks. They know that to get ahead, sometimes you do have to take a risk. You have a business opportunity of some type of an income earning opportunity, which does require an investment up front, and you hope to be able to get a yield out of that. They're willing to do that. They don't do it carelessly. They're very careful with their money. They take a look and assess all the risks, and they assess the potential profit. And if it looks good, they're willing to invest and take their chances with it. If it works out, which in most cases it does, fine. And if it doesn't, well, they just got they've just got now a mistake that they can learn from and make sure they don't make that mistake in the future. But poor people see investing money and risks as a reduction of their disposable income. If you turn around and invest money in a rental property, then you don't have the money to go on a vacation or buy a new car. So that's the offset that poor people will look at. To a rich person, there's nothing even to talk about. For sure, they'll take the investment. And rich people focus on opportunity, not obstacles. Look, when you're faced with an opportunity, you can say, well, this looks good, but the following things could go wrong. And therefore, I'm not going to do it because of the obstacles. Rich people are interested in the ultimate outcome. They want to see what this is going to look like in the end, and they are resilient and they'll overcome obstacles as they appear. Now, that's not a guarantee, but they're resilient and confident in their own abilities to the extent that they believe that they can overcome any obstacles which happen, and it will still all be worthwhile because of the payoff at the end. But poor people see obstacles and they say, forget it. I can't do that. This is going to happen. This is going to happen, without trying to figure out how to overcome those obstacles. So again, when you see obstacles, think of the opportunity first, and then worry about overcoming those obstacles as they pop up. Be aware of them, but don't be threatened by them. Of course, if the obstacles are insurmountable, then it would be foolish to go ahead with the opportunity. But assess things and assess it very carefully. Rich people believe they should be compensated for the value they provide. If what they deliver brings great benefit to many people, they believe they should be compensated accordingly. Let me give you just a wild example. Let's say somebody finds a cure for a horrible disease. Should you pay him $15 an hour for the work he did? Or do you think that's worth a lot more because of the value he provided? Obviously, he's provided a great, huge value to many people, and therefore he deserves a lot more. So they want to make sure they're compensated on the value they provide. Poor people, on the other hand, believe that we should all be paid the same amount of money for whatever we do, regardless of the outcome that we produce. And if you do a job and you do the job poorly, you're still going to get your hourly wage. And they also believe that rich people are crooks and they're very greedy and they do everything for greed, which is 100% not true. I don't believe that every rich person is a greedy person. I believe that every rich person is motivated and strives to achieve success. And to many of them, the wealth that they achieve is basically a scorecard to tell them that their ideas were right, that they worked out because they had good ideas and they were able to stick to them, keep their nose to the grindstone, and make the things work out. So that's one difference between rich and poor. But focus on value, whatever you can provide, as opposed to getting a wage payment. Which brings me to rich people focus on net worth, not wages. A net worth will produce its own income and will provide additional opportunities for further investment. You see, building your net worth is a great way to gain wealth over time, because your net worth can in turn be used for investment purposes, which will bring in income, which will support you. What this means is that you're no longer working for your money, but your money is working for you. And there are cases with very wealthy people that make a ton of money just from their investments, from their dividends, from their interest, from their investments and interest in small businesses, startup businesses, all kinds of things. But that's all focusing on your net worth as opposed to your current wages. Because your current wages, basically, it's what poor people talk about. It's what are your hourly wages? Can you get a raise of 50 cents an hour and you're making more money, which you can then turn around and blow on something worthless. But what they talk about is they're willing to trade hours for dollars. And the problem there is that you only have limited hours in a day. You cannot work more than 24 hours a day, no matter how hard you try. So if you're getting an hourly wage, you're limited. Whatever you're making is limited. You have no way to go any further unless you get a small promotion or a raise, which is really, a lot of people live that way. And if they're comfortable with it, that's fine too. But if you want to achieve success and great wealth, you've got to focus on building a net worth, not on just simply growing your wages alone. So that's it for this video. If you've got value, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. I read every comment and I reply to those comments. And if you'd like to see more videos of this nature, just comment down below rich people. And I'll know that that's something you'd like to hear more about. And I'll be happy to produce more videos on that topic. So until next time, please take care, be safe.